What's up, y'all? This is AJ back at it again with another episode of the What We Gonna Do podcast. So I know y'all probably like, damn, he ain't give out no socials, he ain't give out no email, he ain't do none of that. I'm going back to the basics, man. I'm going back to, you know what I mean? I really got to get back in the groove and into the swing of things. So if y'all know where to find me, y'all know where to find me. You probably ain't gonna see no show notes. You may not see no tags. This is really just gonna be for y'all. Like, you know what I mean? I appreciate any of y'all new folks that's been come around, but this really is for, you know what I mean, the folks who ain't left. You know what I mean? The never left folks. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all. That last episode, I'm sure I did not complete some of my sentences. I know I forgot to say some stuff. My mind was all over the place. And this episode might be similar, but I actually have something to talk about today. I mean, I guess I got something to talk about. It's something I kind of jotted down and I'm like, I guess it's time to, go ahead and circle back to it and really expand up on it. I was just like, I could have articulated this a little bit better, but y'all got something, you know what I mean? So hopefully this will be similar to that last one, you know what I mean? Hopefully I ain't got to do too many edits. I really didn't have to do too much on that one. I just kind of talked my way through it. What was I going to say? Did it feel good to get back on the mic? I don't know. You know what I mean? It was just like, it's cool. It's okay. You really got to sit down and think about it. And I really got to, find that passion again. But I got some stuff on my mind as far as like, okay, this is kind of what I want to do now. I'm going to scale it back, but I'm going to still try to provide some stuff. And I'm going to go back to kind of, if you ever go back to like when I first got on Instagram, I'm going to try to get back to some of that type of content. And as far as Twitter was supposed to be more kind of on the spot engagement and kind of, things of that nature, talking about that stuff. So I'm going to try to, break it back up and kind of get back to that. So, like I said, we'll see how it goes. So I'm pretty much sitting here in my hotel room. I have to travel for business or for work or whatever. And I was like, all right, let me go ahead and record a show before I go to the gym. Now that I'm out here, I'm like, all right, I got to get back to this gym stuff. I done fell off. I'm looking crazy out here in these streets. I mean, I still look good. You know what I mean? I'm still a looker, but I'm not looking like, I would like to, you know what I mean? So I got to work on that. Today was pretty much just like a chill day. Went to work, did some stuff, got off, got me some food, and I've been kicking back. I watched some, the NIT. So I watched a little bit of basketball, a couple of games. And then I kind of got on the computer to kind of work on some stuff for Instagram or whatever. Mom's hit me up, chopped it up with her for a little minute. I'm going to go catch up with them again tomorrow. Got here Sunday, you know what I mean? And went over there real quick to my mom's house. She wasn't there. So I went back yesterday to see my little sister, and we over there doing what we normally do, cracking jokes and talking shit. That's pretty much all I do with my family. We might play some Monopoly. My sister is like, one of my younger sister, she want to do the Jenga. The older sister, she want to do Monopoly or whatever. So tomorrow I'm going to go back over there and hang out with them or whatever. But today, I'm pretty much, like I say, I'm going to go hit that gym after I get done with this. I'm going to see, because I really probably ain't going to feel like it, but I'm going to go ahead and make myself go. Like I say, I gotta get my life together. So today's episode is titled Family Business. So, of course, y'all saw that, and it's not what you think. I ain't starting no family business. We ain't got no family business. The family is really just to talk about something that I've talked about, kind of here and there before, but really to kind of talk about it specifically and in depth. So, of course, I am a married man. It will be 10 years of marriage in June. Yes, thank the Lord. They say it takes 3 strands in a marriage. Me, my spouse, and God. And literally, I will say that it has taken all 3 to get to this point. It has been a long road. I feel like we've been married 20 years. Me and my wife have went through some ups and some downs over the years, but somehow we have persevered. Obviously, we have my beautiful, brilliant daughter, you know what I mean, that I love. I'm going to be working on getting her into the gifted and talented program tomorrow as soon as that rolls out for her school district. But it ain't always been no crystal stair. You know what I mean? It's been a long road. And when I started this podcasting, like I mentioned, there's been so many different iterations of me doing a YouTube, me having a Tumblr, trying to get Google Plus popping. I never really got on what's it called? It's gone now. It's what's that? The Vine. I was never really no Vine person. I missed the wave on that, but Vine gone now. Twitter done killed Vine basically or whatever. But wasn't really no Vine person anyway. So when I got on to doing all this podcast stuff, it was easier because I want to say it was in between the time when, it wasn't really easier. It was just like somehow, I don't know, our schedules were a little bit different. So I was able to kind of make the time, go find me a good space, check out the acoustics, and sit there and record. And again, I would literally, just try to get in the zone so I could get in the mind frame of recording. But I typically did not record when my wife was home or when my daughter was home. It was just really hard. And the times that I did record, I would have to kind of go out into the hallway. Again, what I said on the last episode, for those of y'all who invest in y'all podcast stuff, dope. I just don't think that's not the same thing for everybody. And what I was saying on the last episode about the whole business stuff is that literally I've seen people put money into businesses that did not have the clientele and it failed. So what you should do is, yes, you want to get your place to a certain level and then build it up from there as your business grows. Don't, at least in Little Rock, that's just how it is out here. Like if you are going to start, open up this business and you done spend all this money and you think that, if you build it, they will come. That is not how it goes in Little Rock. You really got to get your spot up, get your clientele up, and then grow as you continue to grow your clientele. Otherwise, you just be, you just going to be losing money or whatever. I mean, that's just what it is. So, I would pretty much go out into the hallway to record. And again, it wouldn't really work. You know what I mean? The acoustics wasn't right. My daughter trying to sleep, my wife trying to sleep. So again, when you think about that, most of the time that I have, my wife and daughter are at home. Unless they go out somewhere together, I'm typically with one of them. Unless we just drop our daughter off. Now, of course, I just feel like when you got a family, man, you can't do shit. When you're single, you can just come and go, as you please. And of course, people do it. Shout out to J Omega, shout out to Sayer, you know what I mean? Shout out to the podcast brothers, you know what I mean? Just, you got different podcasters, people got kids, people make it happen, people record it all different times. I don't know what type of motor or motivation y'all got, but mine is not the same way because I'm literally just trying to figure it out. And sometimes, man, it's just like, yo, I don't feel like it. Like, I know I've talked about how I may not feel like podcasting and I go ahead and podcast. In the past, I've podcasted through it, but it'd be sometimes where it's like, yo, I don't feel like going to these different locations and recording or whatever. It's like, I just, I want to be comfortable. I want to record right here or whatever. And again, I try to do it, I can only really do it at certain times. But now that I'm really going back to the basics, man, and I'm not really tripping so much and overthinking stuff so much, I might start recording, in my office, which I typically don't like to do because of the acoustics, but I might go ahead and start doing that. We'll see how y'all feel about these episodes and, how y'all feel about where they going. But I just brought this up because it was just like, man, figuring out the logistics of getting your family out of the house and then coordinating, then making sure don't nobody call you, and making sure you ain't got to work on nothing, making sure you ain't working late or whatever the case may be. Because obviously I have responsibilities. I don't want to just push my daughter off onto my wife all the time. I'm not that type of guy. Like, we really do take dual responsibility, of our daughter, and we are both involved in her life. Like I said last time, me and my daughter typically, especially in the summer, we are always out somewhere. We always doing something. We went to a STEM in the Park event last year. We went to a lot of events last year, and we've been to probably 3 or 4 this year that were sponsored by the Garland, Independent School District, or it's just sponsored by, the city of Garland. So I try to take her to whatever events I can find and expose her to as much as I can. When me and my wife, and I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but anyway, we went to, I think I did mention it, but anyway, we went to Houston or whatever, and it was just like, again, showing her all of this different stuff and really just exposing her to that. It's like my daughter has been to, and this may not sound like a lot to, a lot of y'all, but it's like my daughter has been to 2 beaches, and she's only 5. I've been to 2 beaches, and I've been to, 3 beaches. I went to Galveston twice. And I'm 31, you know what I mean? And I didn't go to my first one until, senior trip, spring break, when it got wild, wild and crazy. So it's pretty dope, you know what I mean? Just allowing her to see different things. But anyway, when it comes back to this podcast and stuff, it's like, all right, man, what can I do? Y'all got to go. Y'all got to get out of here. And again, usually when it comes to getting out the house, I don't know about y'all, but stuff costs money. You know what I mean? It ain't just as simple as getting out the house. It's like, okay, if you get out the house, where you going to go? You're going to go to your family house. You're going to go to your friend house. You're going to go get your hair done. You're going to, go get something to eat. It ain't too many things to do. Or you're going to go to the park or whatever, you know what I mean? And my wife, she kind of leave that on me. She ain't really going to the park and doing all of that. She might go up in a store and go do some shopping or something, but she ain't really going to the park like that. So if I do get a little break, y'all got to think about it. When I was recording, I pretty much didn't set no time limit. So in my mind, I would kind of keep it to around an hour. So what would happen is during that recording, sometimes I might stop. I might, I might have a brain fart. I might try to get back on task or whatever. But again, you really just trying to set that hour aside so that you can record. Again, it's not feasible to just kick everybody out the house, even on the weekends. And even after I recorded that last, I was like, oh man, damn man, some people, they record every week. I know a few podcasters, man, they put out a podcast every day. I don't know how the fuck y'all do this shit. I'm gonna be honest. I know how y'all do it. Like, you know what I mean? I can think of it in my head, what y'all do. And I mean, people have talked about their different methods and all this different type of stuff. But it's just like, yo, I gotta live. I don't know. I gotta live life, man. My life does not revolve around this podcast and stuff. And that was one message that I was trying to get out in the last episode, was really, not about not doing stuff, through social media, but it's like, yo, I would prefer like a live form. I mean, obviously, when I put these out, y'all give me feedback online, but it's not the same as like, yo, if we all sitting in a room together and we're conversing, and it's, it's just one of those types of situations. Because obviously, I would prefer that over probably any medium or any platform, you know what I mean, for us to all be in the same room, which ain't always possible. But I shout out to y'all for doing these different podcast events, people doing these different anniversary shows, people doing these different meet and greets, everybody coming up with something, so definitely salute that, you know what I mean? You know what I was thinking about? I was like, man, does anybody know if there is a black podcast host? Like, the host is black owned or whatever. I'm sure it has to be out there by now, because that's, of course, everybody do these people do these podcast networks, or call them podcast networks, or whatever the case may be. But, it's like the Gimlets and the Podbeans and whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? Like the bigger outlets, not even the bigger outlets, but I was just like, man, I wonder if there is a host, like a platform that is owned by black folks that will host your podcast. Not to say I'm finna switch, I'll be honest. Not to say I'm going to switch because I'm going to do my research. A few people have tried to get me away from Podbean, and I have not left yet. I rock with Podbean. You know what I mean? They've been cool. Anytime I need to get in touch with people or communicate with different people at different levels, I've been able to do that. You know what I mean? So the Podbean people cool. They cool on Instagram and they cool on Twitter or whatever. I've got in a few Slack groups, you know what I mean, with some Podbean people that, you know, are over Podbean and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm sticking with them for now. But like I said, I would like to know, just to have that information out there for, you know, people who would maybe like to switch. And because I was just thinking about that, I was like, man, it would be cool to not only have a Black podcast network, but to have a Black podcast host. And for those Black podcast networks to be on that Black podcast host. I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about an ecosystem because we always talk about working together and promoting each other and, you know, all of this other good stuff, which I think that is great. Should be working together, should be supporting each other. Should be real support though. Should be like genuine support, not like fake support. Should be like real genuine support, you know what I mean? But I was just thinking about a host. Anyway, again, I'm getting off topic and I'm mess around and go over my time. But I was just like, and this is why I like to record when it's like fresh on my mind. But it's like, yeah. So when I got my wife, you know, when I got my wife and kid at the house or whatever, it's like, all right, I'm really trying to think because I don't really want no background noise. You know what I mean? And I mentioned that the last time. I really don't want no background noise. So I'm really trying to think. And then again, like I said, when it get late, I'm like an old man, y'all. I be going to sleep early. Like I used to be able to go to sleep like at 10:30 and 11:30. Now, shit, I put my daughter in the bed about 8:30. I get in the bed about 9:30. So like I said, I get off at 5 o'clock. Then hypothetically, I try to go to the gym or I try to eat, you know what I mean? Because think about it. I take lunch anywhere from, you know, between 12 to 1 or whatever. So then when I get off work, if I haven't snacked on anything, it's like, all right, my daughter got to eat. I got to eat or whatever. Then it's like I go to the gym. I'm trying to do the gym for like an hour or whatever. Then my daughter got to be in bed by 8:30 or whatever. So it's like, go to the gym, try to take her to the park or take her to the park, then go to the gym or eat, take her to the park, go to the gym, eat, go to the gym, take her to the park. You know what I mean? Figure that out before it get dark. And obviously, you know, daylight savings time would cut out on all of that. And then, of course, like I say, I'm at the gym for an hour. So by the time I get back, I ain't got no time to watch TV. I ain't got no time to get on this. I got enough time to put her in the bed, get her bath together, put her in the bed, shit. Me take a shower, me get in the bed, read a book for about 30 minutes. That's how much, you know, book time I try to put in or whatever. And then I'm out. That is it. Which means that in that period of time, there really ain't no time for that 30 to, you know, an hour long sitting down recording of a podcast or whatever. So what'll happen is like on Fridays, usually I'm out and about, and even during the week, sometimes I'm out and about. I got plans. I may be working late. Anything can kind of throw off that time or whatever. And then again, I have to work it out when I do find the time to make sure that they're gone or whatever. So let's say Friday, Saturday, Sunday come. You would consider those kind of like the best days. Friday is usually my wash day. I try to get out my clothes and wash, you know, that's like the wash day at the house or whatever. And then when I get off, because I get off a little early on Friday, usually I'm out. I'm trying to get out, you know what I mean? I might try to hit the town or whatever. I ain't thinking about no recording. It's a good day to record, but honestly, I ain't thinking about no recording. And my wife gets off late. So whenever she gets off late, that's like me and, you know, my daughter time or whatever. Then when the weekend comes, typically, you know, the weekend is kind of like catch-up time. You going out, you running different errands, you trying to do this, you trying to do that. Or you just trying to relax, you trying to kick back, you trying to catch up on a TV show. You might be trying to catch up on some podcasts or whatever. Sunday, obviously, you know, you going to church and doing this, that, and the third. So the time, it really depends. And again, if your wife is leaving the house or whatever, and then maybe I just want to get out. Maybe I just really don't feel like doing that. Maybe I am not inspired to record a podcast. But I was just thinking like, yo, it'd be so much easier. You know what I mean? Just go back, you know, the bachelor life. The bachelor life. Not like literally, but figuratively, you know what I mean? Because I ain't got to think about none of those intangibles. I get off work. go to the gym. I can record and do this, do that, and whatever. But I'm be honest, like I say, I don't really like recording too late at night. I don't really like recording too early in the morning, kind of midday. It would be, if I could fit that into that time of working time, that probably would be the best preference. And I know I've been talking about this for a while, but this kind of goes into, you have responsibilities. You know what I mean? You have these responsibilities, and you got to take care of them. You know what I mean? You cannot shake your responsibilities. You know, you can move them around, but like I say, I'm just not one to push everything off onto my wife. So I really try to, make sure she get her time, make sure I get my time, and I'm trying to make sure I spend time with my daughter, because often, man, parents get so caught up, man. You get them kids that tablet, you get them kids that you let them get on the Netflix, you let them watch TV or whatever, and man, you just kind of want to, sit back, and you don't want to think about nothing. You don't want to do nothing. I go over my daughter's homework with her. I make her work on different, activities or whatever. Like I said, until my wife get home, I'm typically, getting the meals together, making sure I'm feeding her, maybe get something together for me and the wife or whatever, which I don't do that as much as, my wife would like. But, me and my wife eat differently. You know what I mean? So it's not always feasible to get something together for her. She, she's more refined than me. I eat like a, I eat like a 14-year-old, like a 14-year-old in the 90s or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how my eating go, regardless of how we shop. That's just how I eat or whatever. Let's see here. Like I mentioned before, well, not like I mentioned before, but yeah, you know what I mean? You can't just up and leave, It's just not always possible. And then you try to think of, okay, if it's just me and the kid, what can I do with the kid? Can I drop the kid off? They got these little parents' day out programs that you can pay, and you can drop the kids off for a certain amount of time. But it's like, all right, well, if we do that, we're probably going on a date night or something. You know what I mean? Again, it's still not time to be recording no podcast, It's still time where something else is going on. Sometimes, and I'm sure y'all parents know this, of people that got kids. Y'all know them times where y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all just drop the kid off so y'all can have some alone time or whatever. We do them same things, you know what I mean? Again, when we got them times, I'm not recording no podcast. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing other stuff. We doing other stuff. Even if it's just me and her being able to sit down and watch a movie. When the kid at the house, at least how my kid is, she want to do everything with us. You know what I mean? She is like that. She want to be all up under us. She want us to watch movies with her. She want to watch movies in our room. We try to kick her out. She come back. She don't want to watch them by herself. And again, I do try to make sure, like I said, that we don't get so caught up on, I'm on my phone, my wife on her phone, my daughter on her tablet, and we really not engaging and communicating with her. I saw that where it's just like, it was some type of show or something where they was talking about how families don't, I don't think it's commiserate, but it's just like families don't come together at the table no more. Somebody eating at the couch, somebody eating in their room, parents eating in their bedroom. It's like people don't sit at the table and talk about, how was your day? What did you do? Do you got any homework? Do you got any of this and that? It's like, no, come home. You get on whatever you looking at. I get on whatever I'm looking at. But again, it's like, man, I've been working all day, so I want a break anyway. Even though I'm not on Twitter and, and social media. And I'm back. Like I said it earlier. I mean, y'all seen it. And this is what I mean. I'm getting back into the swing of things. But it's like, this is why I'm like, man, if it ain't going to be perfect, then I ain't gonna do it at all. You know what I mean? I know that nothing in life is perfect, but I'm like the 5 heartbeats. Like, if it ain't gonna be right, might as well not do it at all. So here I am, sitting, rambling, talking about the family business. That was a title I came up with, because I was just like, when I think about all of this stuff, I'm like, man, that's what it is, man. Like, you really have to think about the business of your family and the different pieces that are moving, and how you can actually fit that time in to record, and then how you can just get your mind into that space. And again, this ain't even got nothing to do with doing none of the editing or none of that stuff, you know what I mean? But you really got to make plans. Like, you really have to sit there and be like, all right, I'm gonna record on this day. Y'all gotta get out on this day. Y'all gotta do this on this day. And then when that time comes, you gotta feel like it. You know how you make them plans, and then the time comes, you don't feel like doing that shit. The plans was cool. It was cool to make the plans. You know your wife gonna be out. You getting the hair done. You doing this. You getting the nails done. Whatever the case. You know you got this set amount of time. So you know you on a fixed thing. You get off at whatever time you get off, and then it's like automatically you go into go mode because you like, all right, I got to do this, and this so I can record. Let me pick up the kitchen. Let me go ahead and take out the trash. Let me go ahead and check the mail, you know what I mean? Let me go ahead and put these clothes up, get these clothes out the dryer or whatever. Let me go ahead and sweep this up. I know I'm talking about a lot of stuff, but that's just kind of how my day go, you know what I mean? Especially with what I do, it's like I be trying to take care of my house or whatever. I try to keep my front clean, this clean. I don't just do it on the weekend because it be so much damn rain and stuff going on. You got to kind of maintain it throughout the week or whatever. So, you make those plans, but if it's been a long day or a hard day, or you done got into it with your wife, or you had to get on to your daughter, you don't feel like recording, that might change my whole recording. That might change my whole mood. And obviously, I cannot put everything on a podcast. I can't put all my information and all my business out there, whatever. So it's like, I sit back and I chill and I try to get to that next time that I'm supposed to record. And that next time turn into a next time. In the past, I ain't really like missing nothing with y'all. I ain't like missing nothing. This time, I am I am chilling. I don't know when these episodes gonna come out. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't even talking about no mini-sodes or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I think it's just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to keep these episodes to 30 minutes, maybe even less than 30 minutes or whatever. But I'm going to try to have it more structured. This was kind of like, it came to my mind and I had the outline and I had it broke down in my head. And obviously when I start recording, that outline has changed considerably. And it is not the outline that I thought it would come out to be. Because, in my mind, I was like, all right, let me just talk about this. You know what I mean? It's interesting to me because, I do wonder, like I've said before, what does everybody else do and how do they manage their time or whatever? And this is why you see different individuals, man, they come and they go because this podcast and shit is a grind for real, especially if you don't like blow up, especially if you don't go viral or something. But I keep listening to these different shows and they're just like, man, if you do this one thing, if you do this, and you never know the ear of the person that you might catch that might be like, you know what? I want to feature this person. I want to, do this with this person. I want to, you know what I mean? It just take that one. But it's like, what do you look forward to? Do you look forward to that one big opportunity or do you look forward to something, that is more important for your specific audience? You know what I mean? Like, what are you exactly working towards when you're doing podcasting? Is it just you shooting the shit, talking to your homeboys? You know what I mean? And it's a few podcasts where it's like, man, I don't know what happened. It's like they were here and then they were just gone. At least for y'all, I kind of gave y'all, you know what I mean? It was like, all right, I at least said something. It's some people that I'm like reaching out to because I'm trying to figure out, man, what happened? I don't even know what happened. You know what I mean? I don't know if they lost the studio. I don't know if this happened. I don't know if they got into it. I don't know what happened. I just know, like, damn, they just gone. And they go into their family business too. Because again, man, you definitely got to be mindful, especially, you being a married man and maybe you thinking about doing podcasts with people of the opposite sex, or maybe you thinking about doing it with family members, and maybe people don't want their family members on the show. Maybe people don't want people saying the wrong thing, you know what I mean? And I just kind of, I narrate, even when I have had guests, I tried to steer people the right way. That way we didn't get too crazy, didn't tell too much information about ourselves. Oh yeah. Appreciate Sire. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sire. I hope he cool. I figured I would try that. I don't even know if it's going to sound or if it's going to work, but I'm like, I throw that on there. And I went back and forth, man. Sire, he got so much stuff, man. If you need a beat, hit up Sire. What is it? _SO, Sire, SO. You can find them, TOS Podcast. Look out for Sire. If you need some production, if you need some instrumentals, whatever you need, hit up Sire. Dan on Drugs, I think Dan on Drugs, I guess, I don't know. He don't really do that for everybody, but Dan on Drugs, he got some dope stuff too or whatever, man. Especially with his, what is it, a few screws loose or two screws loose. I think it's a few screws loose or whatever, but, you know, he got some dope stuff too or whatever. And Dan, you know, he'll bust out a rhyme or he'll bust out, you know, some poetry or something. Dan do a little bit of everything. I was watching this video today. He got the whole recording. He got the mics or whatever. And I'm like, damn, man, where is my friends with shit like that? Why can't I get around some people that's got stuff like that? Then maybe I could get out the house and then I could get away from them. And then I come record at y'all shit. And you know what I mean? But then again, y'all probably gonna try to charge me or something like that. And, you know, I be trying to, what people say, everybody like, oh, man, don't be doing nothing for free. Don't be asking for no handouts. Shit, I'm just trying to be like these rappers. What these rappers say, a feature for a feature? Shit, I'm just trying to do a feature for a feature. Anybody want to do a feature? Anybody, we're going to do a feature for a feature. I'm doing that for any and everybody. Not really, because I really don't know how to do all this Skyping over the phone stuff. I'd rather, you know, be in front of y'all face. I do got to do it, though. I do got to do one of these, like, over the phone type things. But y'all need me, holler at me about any features, man. You know what I mean? And, you know, we can talk about it. It really do depend on the topic, man. When you see some of these people that are actors and actresses, they really be picky about the stuff that they entertain and what they do. I feel like I can be the same way. I feel like I'm at that point, man. You know what I mean? Because, and it ain't no knock at nobody. It ain't no knock on nothing. It's just a matter of preference, man. Like, if I'm going to lend my voice to something, I prefer stuff that's going to help people, that's going to push the world forward. And that's specifically going to help my community. And that's the black community, that's the brown community, that's the white community of people that you know, that come from the same place I come from or whatever. Everybody else, I'm glad that y'all listen if y'all is on Wall Street or whatever, but I consider this a Main Street podcast for regular folks who go to work, who are married, who ain't married, who got kids, who don't got kids, who may have some education, may have a little bit of education, may have a lot of education, but you ain't just some rich, highfalutin, disconnected person that don't really entertain my world. Like, you ain't really a part of my world. Because my podcast probably ain't going to bring you into my world. I ain't Meek Mill. I'm not finna be sitting here talking to the Robert Krafts and all these different people trying to explain to them what the difference is, and they don't understand. They ain't never had their friend shot. They ain't never been like me, where in the first grade I lost a friend in my classroom due to, you know, a bullet going through the wall and killing them. You know what I mean? Like, that was my first introduction to guns or whatever, man. And I've been around guns since I was a kid, but that's gonna be a whole other thing. Y'all will probably never hear me. I think I've talked about it, but I don't know. Did I do like a whole episode on guns? I don't think I have really. You know what I mean? I leave that to other people. Certain things, I really do lean on the experts. Like, when it comes to music, when it comes to religion, when it comes to politics, I definitely prefer to lean on the experts. It's kind of good to get different pieces of information kind of here and there. But for a full length, full feature, whether it's acting or whatever it is, entertainment, I do lean on the experts. And I know we have this conversation about, being fans of people and people not reciprocating their energy. So it's like, damn, we follow these people on social media. We spend our money with these people. We do stuff on Instagram. We give them ratings on TV shows. We go out and we buy tickets to movies, and what are these people actually doing for us? But again, you look at them and they will explain that, we're providing a service. We're providing a commodity to the world, you know what I mean? Whether it's laughter, whether it's action, whether it's drama, whether it's horror, whatever the case may be. And that is our gift to the world. So, even though they may not interact with us like, regular people would, I still mess with people like that too. I done talked long enough, and I might as well quit rambling. But this is family business. Y'all get y'all family business together, man. Make sure y'all have them conversations. If you're thinking about podcasting, man, make sure you remember you got some business to take care of with your family before you can even hit record. Unless you want everybody in the background. And if you do, salute to you. All right, y'all. Peace.